Meanwhile, in Japan, the Olympics are coming. Is a new surge of COVID coming too? Well, a member of Uganda's Olympic team tested positive for COVID-19 in Japan after getting the AstraZeneca vaccine and after testing negative at home. It was only upon arrival in Japan that the positive test happened. It's the first detection so far of the virus in any incoming athletes, with 5 weeks still to go before the games. The member was denied entry into the country and was instead sent to a government-run facility while the rest of the team was able to head to Osaka. So there are a lot of concerns about how the Olympics are going to go. Of course, they were postponed last year thanks to the pandemic. Apparently, and this is actually the focus of one portion of John Oliver's program this week, the situation in terms of deaths is actually worse in Japan now than it was when the games were postponed last year. Which is, that's like one of the reasons I wanted to focus on this was, I don't know, I just sort of assumed that Japan would be doing better in this regard, but they're very much not. And this is going to be bringing in a lot of people from around the globe. They've, let's see, they've waived the required 2-week quarantine for international travelers for many Olympic teams. Athletes are gonna still be tested daily, which is good. There's been a lot of protests domestically protests about continuing the games. And bear in mind, as of right now, Japan has only fully vaccinated 6.4% of their population. That is far below, for instance, the United States. And so, I don't know, I really hope that they can manage this. I know that the world wants the Olympics to come back, David, but it does seem like a bad time to be flying people in from around the globe.
I'm with you, and that number 6.8% is just shocking. You would think that Japan would be much higher than that. I'm not sure where to come down on this, John, because I love the Olympics, and I don't want to deny American athletes from around the world, the opportunity to go and compete against each other on the international stage in front of all the television cameras and do their thing. But I also get, the people of Japan, they shouldn't have to be subjected to even wider coronavirus and variant spreads because of this. So I don't know where I come down on this. I mean, should the Olympics move forward? I mean, should we wait, John, a couple of weeks? I mean, where do you come down on this?
Well, I mean, obviously they don't care what I think, but yeah, no, I hope that they're at least diligent in the testing. The fact that they detected this case, despite many reasons to believe that it wouldn't be there, is, I think, a good sign. If they're testing every athlete every day, and a lot of the sports are going to be in very large facilities, if they can keep the crowds down, and by the way, just watch it on TV. You're gonna have a much closer view of the athletes anyway on TV. So don't go. Wait, it'll be in LA in like 8 years. You can come here, you can stay with me, we'll go to the Olympics, it'll be great. I wanna see the Olympics, I miss the Olympics. I wanna see gymnastics, it's gonna be awesome. I wanna see some fencing and stuff like that. But I just really hope that they can stop athletes from getting sick and that they can really quarantine them from the population at large, because more cases coming in is like the last thing that Japan actually needs. We'll see. Oh, and by the way, one of the things that I learned from John Oliver's segment on this was they can't, like Japan can't actually stop it. Like the contract they have with the IOC is that it's up to the IOC whether it goes forward or not. Isn't that weird? That like they can't stop the Olympics from happening?
Wow, that is strange. Yeah. And oh, by the way, so my wife, she keeps saying that she's looking forward to the swimmers and the divers. I don't understand why she's so focused on these guys with these little sort of bikini briefs and speedos. I don't know why she's so into that. I'll have to talk to her about it, but
anyway. You should, and they should add a little bit more chlorine to those pools just in case situation's rough.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.